Picture a map with a giant blank spot right at the bottom. That's the 1600s. And people genuinely had no idea what was down there. Sailors chased rumors of a giant southern land, so long the stories turned into myths. Sailors told tales of a hidden continent, so often it earned a name, Terra Australis, the Great Southland. Then in thousands as hundreds, a Dutch ship called the Duifken crept along an unknown coast, and a sailor named Willem Janszoon scratched it onto a map. It was real. A whole continent, Australia, finally had a name. But finding a place on a map and settling it are two very different things. For almost 200 years after Janszoon's trip, Australia stayed a distant dot. Dutch ships brushed its shores, British sailors sailed past, and Portuguese traders waved from the north. Nobody planted a flag, built a town, or called it home. A continent can sit empty on every map for centuries, while the rest of the world argues about who saw it first. The land was known, but it was not lived on. Not yet. That all changed on a January morning in 1788. 11 ships crossed the ocean and dropped anchor in a quiet bay on Australia's eastern edge. On board were convicts, sailors, marines, and a cargo of chickens, tools, and dreams. Their leader, Captain Arthur Phillip, raised a British flag and called the spot Sydney Cove. In a single morning, a continent that had been empty of European towns woke up with a capital. Word raced back to London, Australia was claimed, and the era of empty continents was almost over. For the next 40 years, explorers kept pushing outward. They crossed the Blue Mountains in 1813, reaching the grasslands beyond. They followed rivers, mapped deserts, and watched kangaroos bounce across plains no outsider had ever written about. By the 1820s, every continent, except one, had towns, borders, and names on schoolroom maps. That last holdout sat frozen at the bottom of the world, guarded by icebergs, storms, and crushing cold. Sailors called it the last prize. Most who tried never came home. Finally, in January 1820, 3 separate crews spotted it within months of each other. A British captain named Edward Bransfield, an American seal hunter named Nathaniel Palmer, and a Russian expedition led by Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen, all pushed through the ice and glimpsed land that was not on any map. Antarctica, the last continent, was seen. And once it was seen, the age of discovering whole new continents was over. 7 lands, every one accounted for, every one named. Today, the story has a twist nobody in the 1600s could have guessed. Antarctica stayed too cold and too far for anyone to claim it. No country ever planted a permanent capital there. In 1959, 12 nations signed a treaty, agreeing Antarctica belongs to nobody, only to peace and science. Researchers from around the world share the ice, swapping summer for winter darkness in the name of discovery. A continent that closed the book on exploration now keeps it open for everybody.